So there's a video going around, and it's actually kind of sparked a conversation. And that conversation being, why isn't Tyla doing well in the United States market or the Black American market? And before I get into my commentary about this, I'm going to make a few different things perfectly clear. I'm not talking to anybody that hasn't been to the United States for more than a year. This video is only for your educational purposes. This is not a conversation with you. Another thing is this: when Black Americans point out that you have disrespected our culture, because yes, we do have one. This is what Tyla's finding out. This is not the time for you to say, this is just a diaspora war. It's pushing a diaspora war. It's not. It's not. It is me teaching you how to engage me when you want to be a part of my culture. So we need to stop flaring about diaspora wars when African Americans try to tell people that this is how you should enter our space, because no one else does that. No one tells Nigerians that they're pushing a diaspora war when they tell people how to enter their space. No one tells it to the Cameroonians. No one tells it to the Ghanaians. No one tells it to those people from El Salvador. No one tells it to the people down there in South Africa when people want to come into their space. So we need to stop doing that with African Americans, because it's a double standard. And also, it's also because it's also because of your desire to have close proximity to whiteness. Okay? Because when white people tell you not to do something, you don't do it again. Right. So this is one thing that we have to understand about internationals. And by we, I really mean internationals need to understand about internationals when it comes down to America. And I'm going to lean in very closely so you can hear me. America is racist. Okay? America is racist. All right? And the reason why you need to understand this is because in the music industry, there are certain ethnic groups that control that particular part of the industry. Okay? If white people don't like your country song, it's not being played. It's not going to the CMAs. Okay? Are we tracking? If Black people do not like your rap, your R&B, your hip hop, your smooth whatever, your neo soul, your any of that, it ain't going nowhere. And this is what the music industry knows. Okay? So when you enter into America, we have to label you in a way that we understand as acceptable within this culture. All right? Because different cultures have different things that are acceptable. For Tyla and her team and for other South Africans, you wanted to come to America where racism, Jim Crow, lynching Black people, all of these other things happened and was associated with the word colored. And you told us to get over it. You told us this is what we do over there, so y'all need to get over it. That's what y'all said. That's what y'all said. And Tyla thought that non-Black people were going to support her based off of the sector of music that she wanted to go into. No, that's our space. That's Black people. If Black people don't move the units, then Sony, all of these other recording labels, they say that you're not good enough because the market that we're trying to put you in doesn't like you. They will stop all of that. They will be like, no, we can't invest in you because the market, where there used to be a market for you, now there is not one because the market doesn't like you, because you offended the market. That's why Tyla is in the place that she's in. She just released her stuff and you telling me only 3,000? 3,000? Y'all understand that I have over 50,000 followers. 3,000 units is what was done. You don't have to guess it. It is literally a cultural misunderstanding. You thought that because white people run everything that they don't have to acquiesce to anybody, but they do. They do. Justin Timberlake made it big as a solo career because he had to pander to Black people. He had to pander to Black people. Miley Cyrus had to pander to Black people. If you want to be in this space that Black people had to create because our music wasn't acceptable in white markets. America is racist. And this is something that you don't understand if you've never lived in America. Now, beyond that, it has always been very peculiar to me when people want you to respect their culture when you come to their house, but when they come to your house, they think that they can do any old thing. That's a sign of disrespect. Not only is it a sign of disrespect, it's also very xenophobic because you don't do this to white people. You don't do it to white people. You don't do it to white people. And that's fine. I understand that you don't understand Black history. You haven't been taught it. You also haven't sought to learn it because you don't think it's important. And before any South African or African gets this confused, nobody in America told Tyla to come over here. Like I've been seeing a lot of comments saying that Tyla doesn't need the American market or Black Americans. If Tyla wants to be in the American market, which is why Tyla's music started to be played over here, she's going to need us. Like you're aware of that, right? You're aware of that, right? And regardless of however you feel about it, Black Americans, Black music, as in Black American music, does impact the world and how the world tends to do music. For case in point, I have a lot of African friends, and a lot of African friends have been listening to a lot of these African artists long before they ever got into the American market, right? More traditional sounding African music, very beautiful music. But some complaints that Africans have had is that once they have come into the American market, they try to make their music sound more American. Yes, that is to get the American dollar. It's called marketing. You can't market to people what you want them to like. Like that's not how that works. You have a goal market. And if other people outside of that market begin to like it, that's nice, but they're not considered the target, right? The target market means that you create things specifically for them. And that's why Tyla isn't doing well. It's because she messed up marketing-wise. I don't understand why this is not understood, because everybody expects this from anyone that comes into their space, that they understand and respect that space. And what South Africans essentially did behind the whole colored thing is the equivalent of a Black person going to South Africa, perpetuating stigmas and stereotypes that led to and perpetuated apartheid, and tell South Africans to get over it. That is the equivalent of what South Africans did. And that's why Black people are no longer supporting Tyla. That's why. Because it's that egregious. It is a very big cultural snafu that she made. And that's just being honest. So you can choose to take the information or not, but a fact is still a fact, whether you want to believe it as a fact or not.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. I hope by now you've already heard about the news from Tyla, or the news about Tyla, right? Well, there's a lot of lessons to learn from this girl, Tyla. You see, you can't be arrogant and a beggar at the same time. The two don't match, right? You either be arrogant and stay with your arrogance, or you better be a beggar and respect people, right? So, you see, the internet never forgets. You can do whatever you want to post, speak whatever you want to speak. At the moment, you might not experience the full throttle or the full effect of what you just did. But years after, maybe you need something from the very people you spoke bad about. That is when they go to the library called online. They pull out what you said and they plaster it on your face, right? We all know of this girl, Tyla. Yes, Tyla the singer. She made such a powerful music back then, and it went viral, and I think it went into her head. And she said not such good things about Black Americans, and Black Americans were really not happy with her, right? One of the things she said is that she doesn't identify as Black, right? This really hurt the Black Americans, because the Black Americans, they themselves are the ones who supported her. Black Americans themselves are the ones who even made her video go viral. Now, after she made that bad comment, Black Americans were not happy. Other than that, she made some other nasty comments about America and the Black Americans. The Black Americans kept quiet, right? They knew there is coming a time when Tyla will need us. And that is the time we will remind Tyla who we are. God, oh my, the time came. Tyla released a music. And when she released this music, you know what happened? She sold the albums. Do you know how many albums sold? 3.7K, like 3,700 copies only in the first week. That is a huge, huge loss, right? The Black Americans refused to buy her albums. And you see, there was that thing which was boycotting African business. Tyla is an African, even if she does not confirm to be black, she's African. Now she's part of the program boycotting African business. And now she's a perfect example of boycotting African business. Now let's listen to what the Black Americans have to say. I shall get back by the end of the video, of course, where we shall also have a deep critical analysis.
The fact that Tyla only sold 3K units on her new album is actually hilarious to me, because when people were calling her an uppity African, she thought it was so cute to double down and put it in her bio and try to like clock people thinking that she was gonna come out on top. But girl, it don't work like that. The people is what hold you up. If you think you're gonna step on people to get to the top, that's not how it works. Literally, it's us fans and people who support you. If you don't have no support, you're not going to keep going. Like, what makes you think people want to listen to you if you're being like a stink, mean girl vibes? Like, it never gave that. And it's like, girl, you literally just came in the game. You don't have the status to give Mariah Carey, Nicki Minaj energy. Like, no, it's not giving that. And then when she was at the Breakfast Club interview and she kept having her publicist or whoever like, oh, you can't ask her that, you can't ask her that. Girl, you literally just came out. Literally, you are not Mariah Carey, Beyonce, freaking Nicki Minaj, where you get to curate what questions people ask you. Like, no, if you don't want to answer it, then you can say like no comment or like keep quiet. But like, you can't just be like pointing at your publicist like girl, you ain't no diva, and your numbers reflect that. Literally, the only 2 songs I know is her viral songs. I don't know no other song of hers.
Tyla's personality bombed her career. Her personality being the fact that she's not going to identify as something that she clearly isn't. I could have sworn that there are mixed people that identify as mixed. She has a bad personality because she didn't want that old man dancing on her. The context of that is actually so scary. The fact that consent doesn't even matter when it's Tyla to you. She said she needed help carrying her award. Taylor Swift did the same thing. Nobody bats an eye. Her personality sucks because she is, in you guys' words, an entitled uppity African. And you got even more mad at her when she owned it. I'm gonna need a couple t-shirts too because I'm an entitled uppity African. There was even a recent clip where she was like, yeah, you gotta buy me Chanel or whatever if you want to talk to her. In real life, do you think you're going to approach the everyday woman with nothing? At some point, you guys even said, if any man has a crush on Tyla, you have a crush on children because she looks like a child just because she's not a BBL warrior. I think there needs to be a bigger conversation around xenophobia. Xenophobia, especially when it pertains to Africans. Because the amount of generalization I've seen for different kinds of African countries from Americans is very shocking. And you guys clowning Tyla for selling 3.7K units, more popular. Armani, Victoria, whatever her name was, Chloe, Bailey, all of the girlies that everyone is really hoping to be pop girlies, they never came up. Where's your power?
Why is everybody trying to think piece why Tyla only sold 3.7 copies? People are like, oh, it's because she's colored. It's because Black Americans don't support her. Who are we kidding? Did nobody know the album was coming out? It's a surprise EP with only 4 songs on it, and none of them are hits. Name a Tyla song that ain't water. Name a Tyla. I mean, I'm sure some of you can, but that's my point. It's not because y'all don't like her. It's not because you choose to not like her. Y'all don't know anything about her. This is an EP. It could be a slow burn if any of the songs actually pop up, but the truth of the matter is, didn't nobody know it was coming out. Y'all ain't boycotting her because y'all can't boycott something you didn't know existed. I mean, something is truly only a flop if there has been an active promotional push behind it and people are just not accepting of it and not biting it. We're having a conversation about something we didn't know existed for real. So be realistic, okay? Most people off of the internet don't have any idea or awareness of any of this Tyla is color controversy. Y'all tried to make a controversy about her having Halle hold her award. Most people don't care about that stuff. Play the song Water, they still gonna dance to it. They might not even know who she is. They might not even know her name. They're just like, I like that song.
The downfall of Tyla gotta be studied, man, because at first, they tried to market her as if she's like this young Aaliyah. She's this Rihanna. She's the next young siren that's coming out. Meanwhile, she dropped an album, or excuse me, she dropped an EP, and I didn't even know that joint came out. But this goes to show you cannot come to America without actually understanding the music landscape, because it just kind of seems like her career is just bittersweet for a lot of people. Some are trying to get over the whole colored thing when she got on the Breakfast Club and explained her racial ethnic background. Some just genuinely aren't vibing with her song, but it really goes to show, like, if you're an African artist at all, any ethnicity, if you want to break it in America, you got to sell to Americans. More specifically, if you are black or African, you got to make that known. Because it's not white Americans that are listening to your music. I mean, we still have an issue with black American artists being promoted here in this country. I mean, you got Coco Jones, Victoria Monet's, and Chloe Bailey's that are still trying to make it to the top. And they're great performers, but they're still able to relate to the culture. Relate to the people that are in the culture. To me, this just definitely seems like a PR issue. What I would literally compare it to is if someone bought a pumpkin pie to a black cookout, literally thinking that black people would eat that shit. It's not gonna happen. This whole press run, all this stuff was bound to fail. But she still has time. She could maybe redeem herself.
Tyla's Breakfast Club interview told me everything that I needed to know about her and her team and what her goals were. In South Africa, colored is a racial class, and it's a step above being black for them. Tyla does not want to be called black because to her, it would be a downgrade. Now, she came into the American market thinking that that was going to fly. It didn't. As we can see with 3.7 thousand sales in her first week of her album dropping that nobody heard of, right? Now, I think the biggest thing that she should learn from this is that she would have been better off if she just called herself mixed. That would have been a lot more well received than her trying to deny being black. And honestly, we're good. We got Chloe, we got Coco, we got Holly, we got Jasmine Sullivan. I mean, I could just say in front, we're good. We got Thames. We're good. We don't need anything that Tyla's serving. And yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't got her on a single playlist. Hopefully she's learned her lesson. Maybe she should go talk to Daniel Caesar.
Tyla wanted to be the next Rihanna. But let me tell you the difference between Tyla and Rihanna.
Tyla is Tyla and Rihanna is Rihanna, okay? Tyla is not trying to be Rihanna. And I don't even know why you're talking about Rihanna as if she had a wonderful experience when she moved to America. Do you want me to remind y'all what y'all did to Rihanna? Homegirl came here. Y'all gave her to Jay-Z. Jay-Z telling Rihanna there are only two ways to get out of this building. Either through the window or through the door. Y'all traumatized that girl. Tyla said no to the program. She did not want to be part of that. Y'all wanted that girl to go down the same route as Rihanna. She said no. You remember what y'all did to Rihanna? After Jay-Z was done with her, y'all gave her to Chris Brown. Chris Brown! Have y'all ever taken the time to read the transcript of that aggression? Y'all wanted to treat Tyla the way you treated Rihanna. Y'all wanted Tyla to date one of these gang-banging whatever rapper and suffer the same way Rihanna suffered just for the sake of being black. And speaking of Chris Brown is still famous though. Chris Brown's still famous. Why? Because he apologized and he's trying to show the world that he has become a better person. And we understand that. When Chris Brown went to South Africa, Chris Brown was welcomed like a king. The reaction from black Americans would have been, okay, cool. Y'all did a solid, okay, on one of us, we're gonna do a solid on one of y'all. When Tyla's gonna come around here, because she's the only South African artist that we really have over here, we're gonna show Tyla some love. South Africans showed love to Chris Brown, one of y'all, despite his flaws, despite his character. They showed love to Chris Brown. And y'all still mad over something Tyla said? They did not criminalize Chris Brown. They accepted him with his past and showed him love. Y'all gotta do the same for Tyla. That's how it goes. That's how you create unity. That's how you make friends. That's how you make friends. Next time we go remember, you know what? When the situation happened with Tyla, black Americans showed up. So when something happens with black Americans, we gonna show up. Stop the chit chat, black, blackity, black. Show up for her the same way her people showed up for one of y'all. That's how it goes.
Sang Bonani, everybody. Dime lang. Hope everybody's fine. How are How is everybody doing? So, I was just on Twitter the other day, and then this is what popped up. Tyla's latest EP, which is called We Want to Party. It only sold 3.7 thousand units in the first week in the USA. And there are mixed reviews about this. People are like, oh, did Tyla release an EP that we didn't know of? Oh, why the low sales compared to the rollout of her album? What's the difference? What's going on? And for me, this is my brutal opinion. I know some of the tigers, like I said, you guys will come for me because of the previous video that I did. But like I said, it's not even specifically about Tyla. It's more about her team. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. Yes, despite how I feel about her, hey, I still have to say it. It's not that I want the girls' downfall, but I just wish that you tigers would stop doing a lot and stop putting other people down. Yeah, it's one thing to be a fan and support your favorite, but there's no reason for you to put down other female artists, especially if that female artist has not done anything and it has gotten to the point where the bullying was involved. And also with the way Tyla was moving. I'm just going to be honest, because the way I see it, Tyla is not really a girl's girl. It is what it is. You have to think about yourself. Granted, I understand. But let's not act like, oh, why this, why that? Now, let me point out so many things and things that I've observed looking at Tyla's career. Like I said, I followed Tyla since, let's say, that's how I found out about her. Was it during 2020? 2019, 2020. She had her song, I Know It's Getting Late, You Don't Wanna Wait. The song that she featured with her friend Cool Drink, who is a Zimbabwean, South African producer. Yeah, and what I liked about it in the beginning is that her close friendship, that's who was involved. Her best friend was the stylist. The friend was a producer. You had Liche, who is a professional dancer, who was her friend. So she had that team that stuck with her, her OG team. Love that about her. Now we know that Epic Music, Epic/Sony, you know, they bought her. They bought her from her previous record label. It was a smaller one. And they've invested $2 million. They saw that, she was marketable. She's a beautiful girl. She's cute. She's stunning. Nice body. She's very marketable. And because they see that there's a gap in the industry, Rihanna has left for God knows how long. And there's this urge to have a woman of color as a pop star. She has what it takes. And then we have the latest genre coming out, Amapiano. So many things. So they thought, okay, this is the best person to push. No problem. So during that time, I think during the 2020, 2021, or till 2022, that was when they had Tyla in a camp. There were a lot of songwriters, a lot of producers, and they basically took that time to record a lot of songs. I believe it's like roughly 100 songs, yeah? Because you had producers, you had everybody. They traveled the world, get inspiration, do a couple of blend, and then say, you know what, I've created a niche. This is my music thing. Because she went to Jamaica, she went to Ghana, she went to all those places. So it's like, you know, you need inspirations, you know, to blend it. Rightfully so, that's inspiration, yeah? So sometimes I roll my eyes when Tyla says, okay, I came up with this. Girl, there were other people. There were other people that were singing Afro House. There were other people that were singing a blend. It's mixed with R&B, reggae, Afro beats, Amapiano. No problem, yeah? Now, the thing is, like I said, her record label is one of the strongest, you know, same record label as Travis Scott's. They have connections. Hence why you see her at the Met Gala. Hence why you see that she's sitting front row next to Anna Wintour. Yeah, hence why she's in the right spaces. She has everything provided for her. British Vogue magazine. Basically everything. Everything that even some artists, they've been in the industry for 10 years, 15 years. They've been trying to work so hard to get that. And they don't even get that. But for her, she has everything. They had 100 songs. Hence why after Water came out, not long after, she could release an album because those songs were actually ready prior to that. Same with some of the songs that you see. So my issue is that Prior to releasing her album, she was supposed to go on tour. She had to cancel those tours. Now, it was due to an alleged injury. But they say that they think it's probably low ticket sales. No problem. You're still new. People still need to get to know you. The mistake that Tyla's team has been making is that after the album, they should have let her go on tour. Right after the album. I'm not talking about festivals. I'm not talking about anything. She should have gone on tour. Do a mini venues. We're not being ambitious. Because that's even what Thames did. Simple venues, small venues, at least maximum 8,000. Maximum 8,000. Yeah, you do a couple of tours. Europe, you do a few tours, even in Africa too. I know Africa, well, we're always last when it comes to the tour. But few tours in Africa. I saw the one that she did in South Africa. It's okay. But at least, even in Africa, do a few tours like, let's say, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria. You know, do some other places, Kenya, to get your name out there. You see? But then after her album, they released a deluxe album with only 3 songs. And then that one, they only changed the cover. They extended it. Then now this year, because Push to Start, it started well. It did okay. It just, when it came on the Billboard, it didn't last long. Now this year, it seems like she's releasing a song every week, every month. What I'm trying to say is that her team, they're being forceful. They're not strategizing well. And it's more like, okay, well, we want to prove to you that she's the biggest and most successful artist. But she's still in the infancy stage. When it comes to tours is the most important thing. You haven't gone on tours yet. We're not talking about festivals. Go on tour, familiarize yourself. It's all they do is just to push money in the media. They try to make it out to be that she's a big mega superstar. If they want her to be like Rihanna, so-called, yeah. Listen, I am from Rihanna's era. Me and Rihanna were the same age. I knew what Rihanna went through from the beginning. Trust me. And you cannot compare it. You cannot compare it. Like Rihanna really, she had to perform everywhere. She was basically active everywhere. So when some of her delusional fans say, oh yeah, she's a mega superstar, she's this, she's that. Whereas in America, the Billboard, she only appeared once. The only thing that's saving her now is the Afrobeat chart. That's the only thing that's even saving her. And which I think that, again, it's political. You know, they think, okay, you know what, let's just shift her on the Afrobeat chart. Which, to be honest, is not really fair. You know, so like I said, her team is just a hot mess. I'm not even going to lie. She's a hot mess because she came big. She came out promised like a big superstar. But how are you selling for your EP? Just 3.7 thousand units. You couldn't even let her go on tour. You couldn't even let the album sink in. And now I'm hearing that by the end of this year, she's probably going to drop a second album. What kind of deal did she sign? It seems like the American, overseas she does okay, but the American audience, I feel they still don't know Tyla as the artist. Also with a whole lot of controversy. With a whole lot of the colored controversy and all that stuff. That also rubbed people the wrong way. You know, but like people said, I'm not an American, but when you go to somebody else's country, you can identify yourself different. People even said they would have been okay with her saying, listen, I'm mixed race. And that would have been the thing. Because I think it's only used in South Africa. And that term was not even used, even that term was used by the colonizer. I'm not even going to lie, during segregation. Just because it was okay, does not mean that it was correct. Yeah, so guys, tell me what you think about it. This review is a bit brutal, but I'm just going to say it as it is. There have been a lot of disconnect. You know, there's a lot of disconnection. I just feel that she's tied down to a very tight contract. I'm not going to lie. Because releasing songs every day, yo.
If y'all know me, then y'all know I don't like Tyla because of her personality and mainly because of her supporters. Because what type of comment is this? What do you mean she's more versatile and more beautiful than Beyonce? I'm not going to talk about looks because I do think Tyla is a pretty young lady. But that attitude, nothing compares to Beyonce's personality, please. And then the more versatile in which way? Not album sales. Not album sales. And everybody keeps saying it was 3,700 units. Google says it's 3,100, not 37. Don't give her too much credit. Don't give her too much credit. And I was just like, hold on, let me see what Beyonce's was for Cowboy Carter, the first week sales. It was 407,000. Okay. And you can be like, oh no, but she's American. Of course she's gonna get American, a whole bunch of sales because other Americans love her, blah, blah, blah. Let's add an LMA to the equation, or a UK baddie. She's not American. She had 69 album sales in the first week because what? We like her. We like her personality. I would end this by saying I wish her the best, but I don't.
Tyla's album did not do good because they want to steal blackness, babe. Not coloredness. They want to appropriate black culture, not colored. You know what I'm saying? You have, in America, if you want to do good, you have to be black so that white people can come and take it and appropriate it and then use it as an excuse to say the N-word in a crowd. You get what I'm saying? Like, learn your audience. Learn your target audience.
This South African girl gonna get in my comments talking about we just mad because we didn't create Tyla. Girl, we created Beyonce and Michael Jackson, bitch. You think we give a fuck about some Tyla? Be fucking for real.
If Tyla wanted to use the word colored, that's good on her. Black Americans are just not going to engage with it. I have people telling me, oh, you need to educate yourself about being colored. No, you're not going to Jim Crow my black ass. She could take her ass back to South Africa where they got that apartheid going on. Go back there. It's okay. Take your colonized ass back there and let them call you colored. I will never take advice from a South African. Understand this. When will people realize that black Americans, we accept a lot of people in American music because we love to see other black people do good even if they are not from this country. But the moment that you try to be funny in our face and play identity politics, we still have the key to the gate. We still have the key to the gate. We still own the keys. She tried to play identity politics. The people around her tried to play identity politics and they lost the game. I'm sorry to tell you. People talking about we need to educate ourselves about being called colored. Understand, you must not understand how America works because the moment that black Americans open up that door to be called colored, guess what's coming behind there? Because you give them an inch here, they will take a mile. You're not going to Jim Crow us. No. This is why they did try to call people colored and blacks. They wanted to take the human aspect out of it. So being called people of color and black people is a very different thing. Now, if you don't stand on those values, that's okay, but we're just not going to consume your music. You do not have the privilege of having us be your fan base. It's okay. And trust me, when black Americans don't listen to it, nobody's going to listen to it. We are the trendsetters. They just steal the trends.
Yo, so black Americans are mad that Tyla doesn't identify as black. Hi, bull. So you're going to tell me that y'all are mad that somebody is not claiming to be black, yet you're saying she's using us for our culture, but when somebody pretends to be black just to get numbers off us, y'all get mad too. So which one is it? Do you want their truth? Do you want their truth, Wayna? And what culture is she appropriating? She's colored, which is its own separate race in South Africa. If you don't know what that is, you got Google, look it up. Her hit song that all y'all singing is on an Amapiano beat. That is a South African created. Sorry to my South Africans for these Americans, Shem. The only one of them I claim is my mama.
Doesn't surprise me that Tyla's album flopped. Doesn't surprise me because of her fans. Like, I know.
So basically this creator is talking about how black South Africans have a lot of animosity specifically towards black Americans and just how xenophobic they are towards black Americans. And I'm South African and she is completely correct. She hit the nail on the head with that. So I'm South African. I grew up in South Africa, but half of my family is Zimbabwean, so I also have Zimbabwean heritage. And trust me, the xenophobia that is specifically against other black people from other countries, whether it's black Africans, black Americans, is very rife within black South Africans, and it's actually heinous. Like, South Africa is a dangerous place for black people to be in, especially if you're black from an African country. So no, you hit the nail right on the head. It's really unfortunate. I love Tyla. She's amazing. And she herself doesn't seem to be xenophobic. And actually, there was an incident with a South African Nigerian contestant for a South African beauty pageant, and she was basically being bullied relentlessly, mercilessly by black South Africans. And Tyla defended this girl. And Tyla was attacked for defending her and speaking up against xenophobia. So yeah, it is a really huge problem, and it affects Tyla negatively because people then just sort of view Tyla with those lenses, and she is not like that. She is not xenophobic. She's not hateful. I think she wasn't smart in the way she addressed the colored issue. She wasn't advised well with how she addressed it in the first place. But other than that, it's really unfortunate because these people who are trying to defend her, these South Africans who are trying to defend her by being so heinous, by being so hateful, by mocking black Americans, are not smart because they are hurting her. They're hindering her success. Tyla wants to make it in America.
Now guys, after clearly watching this video, here is my deep critical analysis. You see, one of the things that is actually happening here is some black Americans were really not up for the idea of boycotting black businesses, particularly black businesses from Africa, right? Some of you black Americans were really not up to the idea, but some of you were up for the idea, right? But this case of Tyla is one which is different, right? It's not gray, it's black, yeah? Because Tyla has genuinely, right? She has genuinely talked down upon the black Americans, the people with whom were upfront in supporting her, the people with whom made her become top of the billboard, right? You know, there's this thing where when you perform very well, your music hits certain levels, you are always taken to something in the US called US billboards, right? So if your name makes it up there, I'm telling you, you are big and you are trending, right? So Tyla, first of all, as I told you earlier, she refused to conform, or rather, she denied her black origins, right? She said, I'm not black, I'm this and that, right? And here is a lesson. Here is a lesson that people need to understand. She said that after her trending, right? She said that because she thought now she didn't need those people with whom made her, right? Those people with whom made her get where she is. I'm going to give you an example of Barack Obama. Imagine Barack Obama came up front and said, I don't confirm to be black. Barack Obama, whom we clearly know, he has an African father and an American mother. She said now she's confirming with his white roots. He's not white, he's black, right? He's very, Trevor Noah, not white, he's black, right? We can't say that he's colored. No, there's nothing like colored. What's colored? You're black or you're white or you're other people, right? In this case, you want to say, I am one of you, just for you to get the favors from the people. Once you've taken the favors, now you reject the individual saying, now I'm not one of you, I am myself, or rather I am a certain group of people. It's bad, it's like people are being used. I feel like black Americans felt they were disrespected, and black Americans felt that they were used, right? Earlier on, the black Americans promised they'll be boycotting African businesses because some of these Africans, some of us went there and we started saying not so good things about black Americans. I could watch some videos where black Africans are saying black Americans are lazy, this and that. We are forgetting that the black Americans are the ones who have made it possible to even for a migrant, any migrant, to come into that country and work and have money so as to call other people lazy. If it were not for the sweat of the black Americans, it wouldn't be easy. If it were not for the blood that was shed for the black Americans, it won't be easy. And that is a satisfying thing to understand, why black Americans would say they would boycott African businesses. But I don't believe every African was denying the black Americans, and I don't believe every African was speaking rubbish about them. Those who are speaking rubbish are those people who don't understand history, those people who are not enlightened, those people who don't have knowledge, right? Those are the ones who would speak like that. But for an educated man, a man who understands history like I do, I would never disrespect a black American. I know where you people have come from, and I understand your struggle. To my best knowledge, I understand, not fully, according to my levels. There are black Americans, many of them who are older than me. I can't say I know their history better than they know it, no. And that's why everyone is subject to correction, right? Everyone is subject to correction. And here is where we find that when we look at the situations and the tension that is happening between blacks and black Americans, and Africans, these are tensions that are there to separate us. For Tyla, she needs to go back and repent. First of all, she should repent for speaking nasty words. And second of all, she should ask black people for forgiveness. Because when blacks meant that boycotting African businesses, they really meant it. And we've now seen the result, yes. This is EFK Original Documentaries. Share your thoughts on the comment section. I'd really love to hear what you have to say. Yeah. See you in the next one. Stay positive. Support me on Patreon. I'll surely appreciate. See you in the next one.